How's everybody? Good. Good, good, good. Okay, around the room, let me think. Okay, say your name so Amanda can check you in. If you haven't been here for this session, she'll get you on the roster. If she didn't show up with a pin, she's fired. Here you go, Amanda. Did somebody save her?
Wasn't me.
She has one on each arm.
I got my own.
Gosh, she's doubly hired again. Okay, around the room, tell me why you still love real estate in one sentence. Name first and why you still love real estate, assuming, of course.
Paul Lambert couldn't make this kind of income anywhere else.
Great answer. What was the question? I'm sorry. Give us your name and speak out. And the question is, why do you still like real estate in one sentence?
Okay, my name is Amanda, and I still like real estate because I haven't even finished unlocking all the doors of real estate.
Good answer. Okay.
Hi, my name is Willie Brown, and I still like real estate because you can write your own check.
Yes, 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 yes. I love it. Good answer, Willie.
I'm Kimberly Smith, and I still like real estate because every day is different. It's a new challenge.
Boy, I agree with that. Every day is totally different. You can't be bored in real estate. You can get tired, but you don't get bored.
Trace Henderson. I like real estate because I make my own schedule.
We're going to talk about scheduling today a little bit too.
I'm Kelly Gray Wonder. I'm with Home State Mortgage, and I still enjoy, after 20 years, the challenge of structuring a loan and putting someone in the right program.
Excellent. Nice to see you back. I
Thank
missed
you. Tiani Bradner, Alyeska Title. I still enjoy real estate because every day is a new adventure.
I'm Kathy Fernandez, and I've been selling real estate for over 35 years, and I still like real estate because every day is a new day. New people, no, don't say that. I said one sentence. Every day is a new day. It's fun. Okay, Amanda, why don't you tell us who's winning and who's not?
I only updated parts of the point sheet because not everybody had gotten points in, and Kathy, your team is still killing it even this week.
Can you talk a little louder since my team is winning?
Kathy's team is beating everybody by like
Thank you. That's what I
oh,
wanna
like
hear.
a significant amount.
And
you
what
guys.
are we doing to make that happen?
You can thank Kimberly for 109 points in simply business cards. Just business cards.
Business cards.
Business cards. Same thing. You've got like 41 business cards. It seems like the really easy spot to pick up some points. Kelly, good job. 50 business cards.
Good job, Amanda. Hi. Find a seat, Billy. Just hand this to Billy. You could, yeah, good idea. There you go. Okay, so that's the points. So Kathy's team is killing it. Who's our second place team? And what are they doing well?
Joan, faithfully gets your points in every week. Kelly, you get your points to me.
I haven't been to, well, I did last time.
Remember, you're only allowed to go back 1 week in points. You can't wait 3 weeks to give us points. You can give us only 2 weeks at a time.
She's done really well in closings and business cards. You and Kelly are almost tied neck and neck in closings.
Okay. I give out a lot of business cards at open houses. Kelly, where do you give your business cards out?
You know, I'm starting to have my business cards out everywhere.
Everywhere.
In line somewhere. I am
Yes.
checking out.
That's what we're talking about today.
Different places. I am literally handing them out like I've never done that really before.
And the cool thing when Kelly hands a business card out, it's like she's giving people money. Here's my business card. I can give you money. Right, Kelly?
And it's surprising. People at hotels, people at car rentals, everywhere I'm running into, I am handing them out.
Are any of us guilty of handing out our business cards in mass volume like that? Tell us about it.
Grocery store lines, Home Depot, Lowe's, because people are usually doing home improvements on their own home. And usually they're doing home improvements because they're getting ready to sell or whatever. And
Absolutely.
so,
Are we bashful about handing out our business cards?
should it be?
Shouldn't be bashful. It's our ticket. It's a ticket. You set them up to hand out a card?
Yeah, say, what do you do for a
a living? And then they tell me, and then they say, well, what do you do for a living?
Oh, that's-
Well, I'm a realtor.
Oh, that's awesome. And they actually think you care about them, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing, actually. It kind of stifles me. Yeah, they really do. I mean,
You're awesome. Okay, so any field problems, anybody? Field problems. I saw Paul's face.
One of my field problems I can share, since you're all fairly new, is please remember to get us any addendums and amendments after your contract. We're having those pieced in at the very last minute and it causes a delay. So try and remember to do that. Any additions to your contract.
Excellent. Any success stories, anybody? Are we busy?
I have more issues as far as problems is like when I have open houses.
Oh.
Everybody's bashful about giving any information out. Like it's a big secret. Like I'm just gonna come banging on your door here, and next week if you don't call me back or something. So
We'll do another open house class. Yeah, we'll do one in the near future. Let's remember to do that, Amanda. Yeah, there's so many ways to overcome that. And I know what you're saying. It doesn't have to be like that.
right. So I try to like my approach. I'm not trying to shove the house down their throat at all. I'm just kind of lead back and just kind of.
So are they just not signing in, or are they not letting you sign them in?
Kind of both. If they're gonna be on that side of the fence already, they're just holding back. So I just try to keep on picking at them with little questions.
Questions are good.
Give them some space. Come back with some more questions. Ask them how they're doing that day. Try to get some type of rapport with them as far as just everyday life.
What's the best first question to ask somebody that comes to your open house, Willie?
How did you find my open house?
How did you find me today? How did you find me today? Was it the ad in the paper? Was it Zillow? Was it the open house signs? So you've already started a relationship with them and you've asked a
Right.
very non-stressful question and it starts to put you a little bit in control. So rather than ask them how their day is because they know you don't care, ask them how they found you. How did you find me today? Thank you for coming to my open house. How did you find me? Was it the ad? Was it Zillow? Was it the open house signs? And I'm going to write that down, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer. Thank you for walking in my front door. I'm going to write that down because I want, if you have anything you want to tell me, I want to make sure I've made a note of it. You're already writing things down, already logging them in. Okay, special guest, Billy Worthy, a family friend, longtime friend of my family. He is, how long were you in the Marines?
So far, 2 years.
2 years in the Marines. And Billy is considering a career in real estate. So I invited him to come to this session today since the topic is new licensee, what not to do. So Billy, anything you want to add to the group? This is not an AA group, by the way, in case it seems like one. Any thoughts, anything you want to add to the group?
I am bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and just anxious. I might ask you annoying questions like, what does that mean?
That's not annoying.
That's nothing wrong with that. Everybody here has been wondering if they should get into real estate.
Okay.
So everyone's been where you are. And I'm glad you showed up today. Thank you. All right, are we ready to go to the topic? All right, here we go. Now, there's nobody sitting at this table other than Amanda and Billy who do not have a real estate license. So all of you have a license. And actually, the reason I came up with this topic is because Jocelyn, you all know Jocelyn, she is Elisa's daughter. She was part of the management team here at Jack White Real Estate, and I learned last week that she has suddenly decided to become a realtor. And we don't ever say it that way, do we? It is called realtor. We never say realtor, but anyway, Jocelyn is going to become a realtor. She's had a license and she's going to go into the business and be strictly commission. And she said she was terrified. Now, if you know, Jocelyn's probably one of the smartest people in this building. She is scary smart about everything. And she's had a license forever. She's watched us crash and burn with the E-team leads that we get. She has sold some properties on occasion. But when she told me last week she was terrified, I thought, wow, the fact that she's that afraid after she's been in this business and her capacity for so long opened up a new window of things that maybe, even though that we're all licensed except for two of us, maybe we should talk about what not to do. We're always talking about what to do in this business, and I thought it'd be cool to talk about what not to do. And I'm sorry she's not here because this was really designed for her, and she had said she wanted to start coming. So let's go to your packets. And thank goodness Teresa contributed to this as well. Teresa, our major trainer, who Billy, you'll be training with probably. She's our trench, or not our trench, she's our boot camp trainer. Extraordinaire, absolutely. Okay, so she had sent us some email thoughts. We're going to jump to her thoughts first. And then I added my thoughts to the top in the email, just so we had something to work with today. So let's go to Teresa's section, which will be page 3. And please jump in if you have a good story about knowing that this do not do has made sense and helped you become better at your job. Feel free to jump in, as we always do. So number 1, according to Teresa, the things not to do would be not operating as if you have just started a business. For, as a matter of fact, Billy, I don't say this because of you, but a lot of military people who get out of the military and come into this business have a very hard time. Any idea why? Structure. Military people are basic, and my parents were my father was career military, so I'm a military brat, so I know how that works. I remember standing at attention to get my room cleaned, literally. That says a lot about who I am, right? Anyway, a lot of military people don't do well in this business because they're so used to structure. They're so used to being told what to do. And when you're in the real estate business, you're now in your own, you're running your own business. And if you choose to sleep in till 11 in the morning, that's okay. You can do anything you want as long as your kids don't get hungry, right? I think you have 2 children, Billy. Yeah. And a beautiful wife, by the way. Very talented people. So you have to treat this as if you are in business. No one's going to tell you what to do or when to get up or when to start work. Anything to add to that, people? Okay. Number 2, not having a business plan or strategy. So, Willie, what's your business plan in this business? And it's okay if you don't have one. No, it's not really okay, but if you have to admit it, it's okay.
Well, business plan, I want to do hopefully 12 to 15 deals a year.
That's a business plan.
Yeah.
And then the rest of that business plan would be the baby steps to make sure that happens. Am I right?
Exactly.
Paul, what's your business plan?
Well, I try to do 20% more every year. So I've got 16 closed this year, 8 pending, and I'm hoping to do 30 for the year. So 2 times 3 is 6. So I hope to do 36 next year. And I write out how many hours I'm going to prospect and, how many times I'm going to come in every week, and, some time off, usually around Christmas time where it's pretty dead. That's just, and Thanksgiving Day, I don't work Thanksgiving Day because, it just, prospecting's kind of tough then and that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
I was prospecting, making cold calls on Super Bowl Sunday in Texas because I didn't know it was Super Bowl Sunday. My husband, he said, why are you making those calls? Well, because I'm home today and I'm going to make these calls. So the few people that would answer the phone were actually warm prospects. I just didn't know better. Didn't matter. So we need a business plan and we need a strategy. We need to know what our goals are and we need to know how we're going to get there. And we have to be very disciplined about carving out the time to make these things happen. Okay, another road to disaster is number 3, not having a savings or buffer for expenses. Well, some of us have husbands or wives that have what I call real jobs and they get a real paycheck, and that certainly helps. But if you've come from a job, if you've been a 2-family income and now you're going to be a 1-person income, then suddenly going on a commission income can be pretty scary. So it's smart to have a savings or buffer for expenses. Anybody have any thoughts on what you felt you needed to have as a savings or buffer? When do you feel you should count on your first closing? When you first get in the business. Let's say you do every single thing right. You prospect, you make your parents buy another house, you do everything necessary to make another transaction. When will you get your first paycheck, Paul?
Well, if you've already got it pended, you mean? then within 45 to 60 days.
45 to 60 days. So you're going to have a paycheck if you've done everything right in 45 to 60 days. So that means whatever you need to be earning, you might want to have at least 2 months of income in the bank somewhere, right? Any other thoughts on that? Or 3? Or 6, maybe 6 months. Yeah, 6 months will give you some breathing room. Yeah, good for you. And you had that in mind, didn't you?
I did.
So you had 6 months of earnings set aside to go into this business
Plus other investments, yeah.
and other investments. Perfect. Okay. Good to know. Amanda's on a salary, so she's the lucky one. Okay. The next thing not to do, number 4, not prepared to be self-employed, therefore lack of discipline. Yeah. Have to set aside time to go to work, even though you could sleep in. Number 5, not building a database or, what does COI mean? That was Teresa's, COI, must mean something. Center of influence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sphere of influence.
Oh, but that would be S, okay. Circle of influence, yeah. Not building a database, circle of influence, or sphere. If Billy comes on board as a realtor, and we're not sure that's what he wants to do for sure, but if he does, one of the very first things I'm going to ask Billy, because he's been in Alaska a long time, is make a list of 200 people he knows so that he and we can let those people know, those happy people know what he does now for a living. And he's going to ask them to help support him and his family by considering him and or our team, if he comes on board, to handle their real estate business. And if there's anybody in this room that hasn't already done that, shame on you. You need to be developing your sphere of influence. Amanda, even though many of the people you know are high school people that maybe aren't ready to buy a home, they all have parents. You should be thinking about developing the sphere of influence with those people. Number 6, not setting hours and working a real schedule. We've already said that several ways. And it sounds to me like Paul's already doing that. He sets aside time to cold call, and he does cold call. He's one of our neighbors, and I hear him on the phone very often making his cold calls, and he's doing extremely well. So that's obviously working. Anybody want to ask questions of Paul about his cold calling, how he does it? Anybody want to know how he does what he does? Everybody hates cold calls except me. I love cold calls. It's like a game of chess. But anyway, with that said, yeah, Paul, share with us how you cold call.
Well, I just find, expireds, those people are already wanting to sell. So they're pretty easy. Not real easy, but, for sale by owners, you really need a thick skin because a lot of them have a problem with a realtor. They've had a bad experience with a realtor, or they're really cheap. They don't want to spend the money. They don't see the value of our commitment to them and things like that. So, first thing is to find, where you're going to prospect. And generally I go to the expireds. Then I go back a couple of years of canceleds and withdrawns. And, sometimes I go to the for sale by owners MLS. And those people are difficult. They're the hardest. Those people can actually spear me sometimes, but
They don't make you bleed though.
no, they don't make me bleed. But
They can't touch
but
you.
I just roll off of it. It's just the way it is, and it's really not me. It's the business to rejecting.
Right.
They don't even know me. So,
Right.
and
That's beautiful.
but you got to do. I see a lot of people recommend that you call like 5 or 10 a day. You got to call a lot. Because
Right.
you really do. If I make 200 calls, I might get a hold of half of those people. And, and actually half of those numbers probably don't even exist anymore. And then the other half is who I get in touch with. But, I always get listings, I just got another 2 listings last night. And, I'm doing pretty well getting the listings. That'll give me like 18 listings. So, and the listings are selling. If you get listings this year, man, they're all going to sell. It's pretty much money in the bank. I can't even believe what I'm selling. I'm taking listings like this. It's never going to sell it. 2 weeks later, I get an offer. It's amazing. So, yeah.
How many calls do you make a day? Do you try
A
to
couple
make
hundred. Yeah.
a day?
Yeah.
A day?
As far as I can. Yeah.
How many people do you talk to?
Well, you end up talking about 50. If you make 200 calls, you might talk to 50 people. So you got to keep, that's why I say you really have to be persistent with this thing. That's why I don't even mind sharing what I do, because a lot of people just, they won't do it. So
Right. Oh, that's beautiful. You had a question, Amanda?
I was just saying, do you do that every day?
try to do it every day. Sometimes I can't because my schedule won't allow it, but you're supposed to do it every day. You're supposed to commit to every day. But yeah, there's sometimes I can't do it every day, but you'll hear me just about every day around, 4 to 7, something like that I do it. So, yeah.
Is that your best time?
That's my
To your best time, the time
really
that
to
you
call
think.
it is first thing in the morning from like 7 to 9, because you have more energy, so you can be more enthusiastic. When people hear enthusiasm in your voice, they hear I care about you.
And that that you're a can-do person as well.
Yeah.
I can get this job done.
Yeah. And then the way I actually, when I first started it, I thought people were going to be upset with me, but they were really, really happy. I mean, they were really like, wow, you're a real go-getter, because I say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm sure you figured out your home came off the market. It's no longer being marketed. And I was just calling to see when you think you might be interviewing the right agent for the job you're selling your home. And I hyphen the right agent as me, right? And a lot of times they start cracking up. They just can't help them. They just, man, you're a real go-getter. And so that starts it off as in a positive way, right? So. Yeah. And then, sometimes they're not sure, whatever, and I'll call them in a week or 2 weeks or something like that. That's another thing. I just keep on them. And a lot of people wouldn't do that because they think you're bothering them. But they come back to me and they say, you've called me like 4 times this month and I want you to sell my house. And, that's what they tell me. So
I call that fearless. I also call that success. Paul, that's beautiful. Let's
give
Paul a round of applause here. This is hard to do. Thank you for sharing. What you just described is probably the hardest thing for any of us in our business to do. But it's actually fun. It's actually fun. I just love, now Teresa won't always agree with me. What you're going to hear is, well, yeah, I'm a for sale by owner. And if you have a buyer, bring your buyer over. And in the meantime, come look at my house. I really want the listing. I don't just say we want to go and visit with people and have a glass of water and look at their house if I don't really have a buyer. But for newer people, it doesn't matter. You should get in as many houses as you can. Talk to as many people as possible. Okay, Teresa says, number 7, failure to understand documents and contracts. Yeah, absolutely. When you're not cold calling or prospect calling or warm calling, as Paul is doing, you should be reading the contracts. When you're sitting in an open house and you have no traffic, read all the paperwork, read the contracts, become an expert. To a point. I'll talk about that in a minute. Number 8, according to Teresa, failure to complete your PLE in a timely manner. That would be your licensing requirements, and failure to do your continuing education. She wants you to be licensed and educated. Of course, that makes sense, doesn't it? This is not a lightweight business. We can get into a lot of trouble if we don't dot I's and cross T's. Teresa says not having a buyer's presentation. As you know, my MO with our team is that we try to interview every buyer we're going to work with at least 2 hours. We get the phone call, would you come show me your listing? Yes, we're happy to do that. We'll have you authorize the consumer pamphlet. How did you learn about my property? Are you working with a realtor? And if you find that property, if you like this listing of mine, are you going to be paying cash or creating a new loan, right? So we show the property, and it's my goal, and it's the goal of anybody on my team. If they don't like the home, the next question is, when are you available to come into the office and sit down with us so we can learn better what you're looking for and make sure those houses find you, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, rather than you having to drive around finding the houses yourself. That's if we get the phone call from the sign or the ad in the books or the newspaper. If we meet them at an open house, as I did this past weekend, I already tell these people. This young couple walked in. He just got a job with APD, by the way. It was interesting. Anyway, this young couple walked in, and I'm not going to start showing them houses till they come in and interview with me. That's how you get people to bond to you. That's how you get your documents signed. That's how you learn what they want and you become their realtor for life. We also have them sign what else at that time? Anybody? Now called the consumer pamphlet. What else do they get to sign at that time? Thank you very much. A buyer representation agreement. Billy and his wife bought a house from me several years ago and they signed a buyer's representation agreement. He probably doesn't remember that, but they're friends of ours. I didn't think he was going to work with anybody else, but he still signed a buyer's representation agreement. Kristen Fernandez and her husband signed a buyer representation agreement with their mother. Why not? It's good practice, right? Okay. So not having a buyer's presentation. So you got to have a game plan for when these people come to your office. What are you going to do with those people? If you don't know what to do, go into the production room and grab a buyer's kit and walk them through the buyer's kit. There's so much paperwork in the buyer's kit, you will look like a genius and they will know that they can't do anything without you. Not having a seller's presentation. So when you go on a listing appointment, you better have a game plan for selling yourself and Jack White to these folks, telling them about the selling process. And there's different schools of thought. I like to show up with a market analysis. I don't put a final price on my market analysis, but I want to be able to price that home for them that night. I prefer the one-time listing appointment. In other words, I choose not to go and typically not to go and get to know the house and then go back and do a presentation and a market analysis, because by the time I go back, somebody else might get that listing. So when I'm there, I want the listing that night. Okay. Number 11, not seeking referrals or asking for the business. We've just talked about this. If you don't ask for business, guess what? You won't get any. People don't like us so much, they're just gonna call us just because they like us. Number 12, failure to make relationships with affiliates. I think Teresa's saying, get to know the Kelly Gray Wonders in your business sphere. Get to know the title people. Send them your business and hopefully they'll send you their business back. Be reciprocal. Number 13, working real estate as a part-time venture with no capital. Willie worked our real estate business part-time for several years and we hounded him and harassed him and teased him and threatened him. And one day he got into the business full-time. And how much more money, not numbers so much, are you making twice as much as you did with a real job or more?
I'm pretty much matching what I did there.
Matching?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had a great job with the school district. So
And benefits too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. At one time, well, you were making more.
Hmm?
At one time, you told us you were making more.
I did for.
Well, that's why you're sitting here today.
In class.
Okay. Absolutely. You know, it doesn't matter how long you've been in this business. You can never stop starting new every day. Every day is a new day and you have to start new every day. And that's kind of the fun part. It doesn't get easy. Okay, let's see. All right, number 14, reducing commissions to buy the business or overpricing listings. That'll put us out of business pretty quick, won't it? Oh, there's a real estate company in town, the broker I have a lot of respect for because he's smart. But every listing he takes, Real Estate Brokers of Alaska, and many of the listings his people take are offering 2.5% to the selling office. I mean, consistently. And I've even had this broker explain to me why he thinks that's the wave of the future. 2.5% to the selling office when generally we're expecting 3%, are we not? Now, commissions are negotiable, aren't they? Sellers ask me, Kathy, is your commission negotiable? It certainly is, sir. I charge anywhere from 6 to 10%. What would you prefer? They love 6.
Is the listing licensee at 2.5 also?
They claim they are, but we never know that, Kelly. We don't see that till we go to closing.
I've seen a lot of 3.5, 2.5.
Is that Valley or local?
Local.
Oh, boy. Okay, here we go. They don't have to split the commission. I mean, but that's why our listing agreements now, the seller signs a document so the seller knows what's being offered to the selling brokerage and what the listing brokerage is taking. If indeed the seller read the listing agreement, that may not have happened either. But I was assured by Real Estate Brokers of Alaska that it's 5, Kathy. It's the wave of the future. We're offering 2.5. That's enough money.
Where is that written? I mean, not that I need to know because I'm not a real estate licensee, but where is that written?
The-
Protect you. What the selling license is.
There's no protection. It's none of our business. As a selling licensee, it is none of my business what the listing licensee is being paid. Oh, it's on the MLS. It's on MLS. Right. Now, today I went on MLS today and looked at all the new listings, and hello, real estate brokers now is offering 1.5% to the selling broker. Yes. Yes, I saw that. We won't. See, the problem, Billy probably doesn't know this, the problem is it really hurts our sellers, doesn't it? And it's interesting because I spoke with 2 real estate broker licensees, one yesterday, one this morning, because they have listings that I want to show. And they were offering 3%. And I said, I want to congratulate you for offering 3% on your listing because your broker tells me that that real estate brokers is only going to offer 2.5. For some reason, they didn't seem to know that, but anyway, they had written it up at 3%. Well, they're negotiable and we can do what we choose, but it does hurt our sellers.
Is it etiquette to call the seller up and say, hey, do you realize?
No, you don't do that.
This,
You understand business.
Yourself off at the knees by.
well, first of all, you typically don't have a phone number for the seller. First of all, you don't know how to find the seller unless you know.
Like you said, you're doing the seller a disservice. You can't call him and tell him he's having a disservice done to him because of.
Gabe would have a cardiac arrest. No, we're not allowed to do that. It's not ethical. We can't interfere. We can't come between the listing broker and the seller. But Kelly, the seller signed the listing agreement. The listing agreement states how this. He probably doesn't understand the significance of it. Yeah. So anyway, Teresa's saying, don't buy our business, earn our business. Give them good listing presentations, market analyses. Tell them the way it is. Number 15, not knowing the inventory, only looking at photos of homes online versus getting into a listing. What's a great way to get to know the inventory? Anybody?
Yeah, look at 5 listings a week.
There you go. Have a game plan. Have a game plan for that. Tour. Go on tour, especially for new people. Unless it's Amanda, she doesn't get to go because I need her in the office. But she went all by herself to a listing. Yes. No, going on tour is very useful. I still believe checking MLS stats every morning is very helpful. And then if there's a property that you need to look at, take a look at it. But knowing the inventory. So when people come to your open house, asking about a property, you can say, as a matter of fact, I just saw a property that went on the market yesterday that might work for you. I can show you that home at 6, or would you prefer 7? Are we always closing? Are we always closing? We are always closing. Everything we say is a close. We want an answer. We want a yes answer. Okay, number 16, not knowing the builders, their product and plan designs of what is being built in your market area. If you live in West Park, hopefully you know every builder that builds in West Park. You know the price ranges, you know the listing realtors. But not very many of us in this room necessarily work new construction, although on my team every now and then we like to do a new construction open house for Kevin Sigafus. And so Kevin will give us a quick course in what his builders are offering, but you can learn all that online or just go to the listing brokers. They're happy to talk to you about their inventory. Number 17, failure to execute the small things, name tags, business cards, doing open houses, that type of thing. That's according to Teresa. Everybody should have a name tag. Anybody in this room other than Amanda not have a name tag other than Billy? And are we wearing the name tag? Willie is, yes. Paul? Paul? Why is that, Paul? Can you find it?
Looks kind of cheesy.
Does mine look cheesy?
No.
Why would yours look cheesy? Yours just looks, yours looks just like mine, just has a different name on it. I'll give you one of mine that says Kathy Fernandez on it. Then it won't look so cheesy. Okay. All righty. These are my additional notes. Number 1, top of the page, page 1. Getting a real estate license and then expecting the business to come to you and the telephone to ring. So if you think you can make a living on floor time, get over that. You might get a call. Floor time is a good thing to do. There's nothing wrong with floor time. But when you're doing floor time, you should be also making your cold calls, right, Paul?
That's the only reason I answer that. After hours, I answer the night bill because I'm doing doing my project.
Sure. So I'm saying getting a license and then expecting the business to come to you and the phone to ring is what not to do. What should we be doing to make the phone ring? Anybody?
Talking to people,
Yes, talk
getting out, people, let people know your new business.
Yes. Billy, what do you think would be a great way to get the phone to ring?
Other than prospecting and actually interacting, handing out your business card.
What you just said is good enough. That's 2 listings or 2 sales. That's probably about $14,000 if you get a full commission. Okay, not bad,
More
huh?
listings, more signs.
Yeah, more listings is more signage. The people in our business that get the most phone calls, the most buyer calls are the people with the most listings. Everybody realize that, I presume. I don't mean to ignore. You have such great things to tell us. Jump in any moment. Okay, number 2, yes. I can talk about this forever. Number 2, becoming the smartest realtor in the room concerning real estate inventory, how to write an offer, the closing process, etc., but never venturing out of your comfort zone to find business. I've told this story before, but when I was selling real estate in Houston, Texas, we all loved this lady. She came to work every day. Every single day she was there, probably 8 to 5, and she sat at her computer. And she knew everything there ever was to know about real estate. She knew the forms, she knew how to write offers, she knew the inventory. She was a source of information, but she never sold one property because she couldn't get out of her comfort zone. She couldn't go walk out the door and knock on doors. She couldn't attend homeowners association meetings and hand out a business card. She was paralyzed. I mean, not physically, but maybe she was physically paralyzed. She was not able to solicit or seek business, but she knew everything about real estate. What a waste. It was sad. Number 3, neglecting to ask for the order with every single solitary opportunity. Kelly now is handing out business cards all the time, and I think it's easier for Kelly to get business that way because, like I said, here's my business card. I give away money. If you want to buy a house, I have money for you. Whoa, that would make the phone ring. So we're lucky. All right, neglecting to ask for the order with every single solitary opportunity, even if it makes you uncomfortable. What are examples of asking for the order? Around the room, everybody will make Billy go last this time. What's an example of asking for the order in your business?
I don't understand the question, I guess. Like
what's
ask
asking
for the
order?
listing? Like ask for the listing to close the listing?
Just any example of asking for the
It's
order.
like when you and I went to coffee.
Mhm.
You know, I'm telling you, I'm here. I would like to help you with your business, help you succeed and get going, and letting you know that I'm there to work with you and I would love to help your business.
Mhm.
That's asking for the order. Okay, can you think of anything?
Just ask for the listing if you're at a listing appointment. Just
ask them to, Yeah, don't go on a listing appointment and razzle dazzle and tap dance and tell them everything you need to know about real estate and they need to know about real estate without asking them to sign a listing agreement that night, right? If you don't ask them to sign the listing agreement that night, guess what? They're not going to. Asking for the order, what's an example, Willie?
Asking the person at an open house if they'd like to buy the open house.
Thank you, Willie. My favorite that you reminded me of last week. Everybody that walks through the open house, whether they like the house or not, you ask them to buy the house. It's actually fun. What are we asking for the order? Miss used to sell suits to men person.
Well, this is totally different. You used to put on the shirt or whatever, let them feel that sense of ownership.
I love that. Can you see yourself living in this home today?
Thank you for helping me translate that
You're
into real
welcome.
estate.
Can you see yourself, how do you feel about this home? Will this home work for your needs? You said you. Very good. Is this home a good fit for you? There you go. I love that.
Take your sales, your retail men's clothes.
I do.
I love
You
Where are you
have
gonna
to
put the
try it
team?
on. You have a sense of ownership. You want, how's that fit? Oh, that fits good? Okay, shall I ring you up?
That's
Is-
asking for the
If
order.
that's asking for the order. If with houses, at an open house, you say, well, how's this home field? Is it a good fit for you?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
well,
I like
yeah, it
that.
is. Or well, no, it's not. But then they go and they tell you what they are looking for.
Yeah.
And if you know your inventory, well, I'm wrapping up here. Would you like, there's a house down the street that has those features. Would you like to see it?
Yeah.
That's big time asking for the order. And suddenly you become invaluable to these people. How do you ask for the order? Tell us all.
Every time I show them a house, whether I think their opinion is good or not, or what I think their judgment is, I ask them if they want me to write this house up every single time. We're walking out the door and I say, do you want me to
Yes.
write this house up?
And that's how, you have how many in the pipeline right now?
Uh,
Closing?
I've got 16 I closed as of yesterday, and I got 16 and 8 pending.
And I suspect it's because he asked people to buy the house every single time. It's so easy, people. It's so easy. Just get over yourselves and do it. Give us some other ideas for asking for the order.
One that I always ask for when I'm working with developers and commercial project managers, what else are you working on that I might be able to help you with? Anyone. That's what I ask them every single time before I get off the phone or email. This project went great. Here's what you were looking for. What else are you working on that I might be able to help you with?
She's in the title business.
I'm in the title.
If she said that to me and we just had a transaction that she helped us with, and if she asked that order and we knew we had another transaction coming along, I said, oh, as a matter of fact, yeah, we have another transaction we just put together. So can we give you the order on that?
Yep.
If she hadn't have asked, I probably wouldn't have given it to her. I wouldn't have thought about it. Kelly, give us some ideas of asking for the order.
Well, as we all know, Lisa Phelan is leaving the state, and I had been trying to get somebody's business for years, and I appreciated that loyalty between she and Lisa. And when I found out she was leaving the state, I called her up, and I asked her if I could have the opportunity to be her lender.
Yes. Doesn't hurt to ask. Doesn't hurt to. And if you hadn't asked, it probably wouldn't have happened, would be my guess. What's an example of asking for the order?
Well, normally I'll go ahead and ask them if they want to buy that property.
Good.
And then usually when I get the response, no, because that's the normal response. I ask them what did they like and what their dislikes of that property. And that way I can start, so I can kind of get in good with them and then start asking them like, well, what, that way I can start, I know what to start looking for you.
Exactly. If this home is not going to work for you, would you mind telling me what you are looking for? I'm sure I can help you find that property, right? Thank you. That's even better.
Yeah.
I will find the property. Yes. Yes, positive thinking. Thank you. Okay, what do you think would be asking for the order?
Well, I remember looking. I have zero experience, so I'm going to pull off what I know. I looked at several houses with you, and I come from a construction background, so specifically cosmetic construction, drywall. And so I was always looking for what might be wrong. If I was in a similar situation with a potential buyer that is nitpicking, I have several contacts. I can say, well, I have a contractor who can fix that for you, or what do you want done? I can get it done for you.
Exactly. So if you don't want to buy this property because of the hole in the sheetrock, if we got that fixed for you, would you want to buy this home today?
Right.
Yeah, right. Great line. Great thing to say. Overcome the objection. All right, moving on. Number 4, what would you consider to be a good start business plan? So we have Amanda, who's going to be licensed soon, and Billy that may or may not be licensed. We might totally scare Billy off today. We may never see Billy again after today. They've been over his head. But what would help you, somebody in the room, help Amanda and Billy with what you think would be for them a good start business plan? We may have already said it earlier, but what do you think? Anybody?
Schedule.
Hey, I love that. Have a schedule, right? A schedule for what?
Your timeline, what you're doing during that time. If you're calling people, if you're out maybe you go out for lunch. Maybe your goal is to give 5 business cards out during your lunchtime.
Beautiful. Yeah, have a schedule.
A goal for the year, so then you can.
Yes, Paul,
you can do
perfect.
that.
A goal for the year. For somebody just starting out in the business, I think a reasonable goal for the year, if you do almost everything right, would be 1 sale a month. Is that, say 12 a year? Is that reasonable, Paul?
Yeah.
If you do everything right, if you're working the business every day.
You still be doing pretty good because the average is 5. The average realtor sells 5 homes a year.
Is that right, Paul?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, and that's because they're not working, are they? They are part-time. They're wannabe realtors part-time, and that's okay. I love those people. I love them because I get all that business that they didn't get.
Living though, that figure $7,000 a commission,
Yeah.
that's not, then that's gross.
Yeah.
So that's less than 17,000 a year, something like that.
Not very much. At the end of the day, it's not that much.
I got a good question.
Yes, sir.
We talk about schedule a lot. How many hours per day would you say that you devote? I had Kathy running some late nights. How many hours a day would you say that you're actually putting into the business?
That's a good
On
question.
10 to
average
14.
or
Yeah, I mean, average day,
Working it, actually working it?
10.
10 hours a day.
10.
Right now, it's less than that for me, but probably closer to 7.
Right.
But my mind's always thinking about it. So.
The thing about real estate is you don't have to actually be at a desk at the office to be working real estate. You can be working sometimes from the home.
Right.
And like you said, it's on your mind all the time. I mean, I spent 10 hours working yesterday in real estate, but I did it from my house. And I can do that because Amanda's at the office. She's backing me up and that works. But I was home. And I enjoyed that extra cup of coffee and didn't have to get all dolled up and all that.
And that's the thing, Billy, is that we're, for, you're on salary. And I'm on commission just like you. I don't get paid unless I do posts like you. But we're never not working. It's like 7 days a week until 10 o'clock at night. We want to always answer.
You kind of want to. I mean, I do. I want to. If my phone's not ringing, I'm real nervous. Yeah. But some days I work 4 hours that day. Some days I work 4 hours and some days I work 14 hours. If I have clients that need to see me at 9 o'clock at night to write an offer, guess what? I'm there at 9 o'clock at night to write an offer. I may not come into the office the next day. I may be working from home. So you can kind of set your own schedule pretty much. Yeah, good question. Okay, let's see. Number 5 on my list. Not consistently getting yourself in front of potential buyers and sellers. I think we've already touched on that. If, you really aren't making any money pushing paper. You're not making any money. The only way you're going to make any real money is doing what Paul does, get on the phone with clients or get yourself in front of buyers and sellers. That's how you make money in this business. You're not going to make any money being a secret agent. I've said that thousands of times. If people don't know you're in this business, if you're not talking to people, giving out your card, talking real estate, you are a secret agent and you will starve. Name some ways to get yourself in front of potential buyers and sellers. We've already talked about it. Open houses, association meetings, going to a neighborhood picnic, going to a cocktail party, making sure they know what you do, loaded with your cards. It's okay to hand your business cards out. Maybe not to the president if you're invited to the White House, maybe not there, but everything else, yes, you probably should be able to do that. Wear your name tag. Thanks, Willie. Yeah, I wear mine a lot.
That's good for you new realtors too, that your sphere, getting everybody you know, every little tangent of a person you know, getting your name out there, letting them know what you do. Because invariably, you're going to be at the skating rink with your niece for a birthday party, and you run into somebody, and they would say, oh, "I just bought a house." And I was like, "How do you know you were a realtor?" So get everybody that you can think of in your sphere, let them know what you're doing.
Number 6, not having a daily goal of how many prospect calls you'll make each day and then not making those calls. It's one thing to have a goal. If you don't make the calls, guess what? You're out of business. Are you making phone calls?
I'm really scared of.
I love your smile, but that doesn't. You're afraid to make phone calls.
cold
Okay, well, you need to get a hold of me or Amanda, and I'm going to drag you into my office one day, and we're going to make calls together, okay? As long as you promise that you'll follow up afterwards. Okay, it's not scary.
Turn that offer down. Do not, that's gold. Do not turn that offer down.
And I'll have Amanda there with us too. I have a feeling you're not going to be afraid to make calls. No, you're going to be fearless, Amanda. I just know that. One thing, but not, I understand. I mean, Lee on our team was terrified after a whole year. She could not make a phone call. You know, that doesn't work. So I'm going to help you with that. Okay.
Can I say something else?
Yes, please.
Another thing, don't use people that don't give you referrals. If you have a mechanic, you let him know that if you keep giving referrals, you'll keep using his business. If not, you're not going to use his business anymore. And that's with everybody, your accountant, your dentist, your doctor, the plumber, the furnace guy, all those, you know, that's, I mean, my mechanic, I mean, I've gotten so many referrals from him, man. It's really good. So,
And so
yeah, my car mechanic. And those are the people you want to visit. That should be in your sphere.
And that tells you to only drive a car that breaks down all the time.
There you go.
Or don't have a new car.
You succeeded at that.
Paul, you're beautiful.
Right?
Yes, he's making a lot of money though.
Yeah.
He actually has a good car. He always just takes a broken one to the mechanic. Okay, number 7, not having a system for tracking your business. I am so much a believer in tracking your business. You need to know where your business comes from. If you say to me, I just listed a property, I'll probably say, great, where did that listing come from? You need to know where your business comes from. Why? Why?
So you know what works. and
You need
keep on doing
to, yes, exactly. So you keep on doing that.
it. Just like the open house. How did you find me?
Right. So when we get a commission check, I post that check to a spreadsheet and I give credit to the open house. I give credit to my name tag. I give credit to Amanda referring something to us, whatever. So at the end of the year, you know where most of your business comes from. So that's what you do next year. Don't do things that don't work. Yes, Paul.
Anytime they come to your open house or they call your sign, you don't just ask if they buy. They might be calling you because they want to sell.
Yes.
So you gotta always, I ask them, are you looking to own in that neighborhood? Are you looking to sell a home you have in that?
Paul, that's beautiful. And I hope you all have some personal kits that you take to your open houses that talks about you. Willie is a race car driver. Now that's pretty cool. And I think there's people that would like to know that. So I'm hoping that when Willie is at an open house, he has like a resume or something that tells you about Willie. I knew you would. In fact, I think I've seen it in your office. But anyway, yeah, don't just give them a business card. Everybody gives a business card out and they drop it in the wet pavement outside the door. Give them something about yourself, kind of a listing package or a selling package. I hope you're doing that, Paul. Good. Okay. Number 8, not staying focused on your business. Oh, wait, am I doing? Yeah. Number 8, not staying focused on your business, which requires that you carve out time for your health and your family. I had Billy in mind when I wrote this up. I know Billy's concern is he has 2 small children and a beautiful wife, and he does not want to be working 15 hours a day. I understand that. And you don't have to be successful. Trust me. Trust me, I'm a doctor. No, just trust me. You don't have to do that. Although I hear that a lot. I think my own children have been reluctant to get a real estate license because they think I work all the time. I am working a lot. I do work a lot. Fortunately, I like it. I probably could work a little smarter than more hours, but regardless, you don't have to do what I do. But I do believe in staying healthy, right? And I do believe in family time. One of the reasons I got into real estate, Billy, is so I could go to my kids' games, go to their plays, because I could set my own schedule. So I liked it. Yes, I might work 14-hour day, but the next night I'm making dinner for like 12 people at my house. So you have to be in charge of your schedule so you can have time for yourself, your family, and to stay healthy. Number 9, not staying in charge of your schedule. You need to calendar prospecting sessions and calendar time in your week, day, evening, or weekend to take and or make buyer or seller appointments. I plan my week, and I said I try to be home 4 out of 7 nights a week where I'm going to make dinner and be home. And that's when my adult kids come over, and on and on and on. But those other 3 nights, I I carve out for that appointment. So when I do get a phone call, somebody wants to write an offer or look at properties, I already have the time set aside. And I try to respect that time. It's for my clients and so I can be successful, because unfortunately in our business, most people who want to buy houses have jobs up until 5 or 6 o'clock at night. And if you insist they see you during the day, they're going to find another realtor that will meet them when they're available. Number 10, not calendaring time for follow-up calls to your buyer and seller client base. So prospecting is not just cold calling, it's also carving out time to call all your sellers and all your buyers that you're working with on a very regular basis. These people need to hear from you very often, email, telephone, or text. You need to call them before they call you. By the time they call you, they feel that you've overlooked them, that you're not doing your job, and they're usually not happy. You have to call them first to keep them happy. Do you agree with me, Paul? And number 11, and the last one, I'll quit preaching here in 2 minutes. Not having fun with the real estate business. This is a really fun business. It's stressful. It's important. We're dealing with people's largest commitment purchase they're ever going to make. So we have to be on our toes and do our job. If we get sick, you can't get sick in this business. It's fast paced, but can also be a whole lot of fun. We have to enjoy our successes and learn from our mistakes. Any comments? Did anybody learn anything from this that you didn't already know?
Yeah.
Share with us, Paul. What did you learn that you didn't already know? You know everything. What didn't you
No, I don't know everything. That's why I come here.
So what did you learn that you didn't already
Just
know?
keep having fun in real estate.
Thank you. I agree.
I need to be reminded of that.
I know. You stress a lot. I see
Yeah.
that. What'd you learn that you didn't already know, Amanda?
Oh goodness. So many things. You can't ask me questions like that. Like there's
Gotta be
20
quick.
there's 28 bullets
quick.
here. I
Pick one
learned
you like.
28 new things.
Oh, you did? Pick the one you like the best.
Not operating as if you had just started a business. I feel like one of my old coworkers heard that I was getting into this and goes, she's already taken her classes. She has no idea where she's going. She has no idea what she's doing, but she's got her license. Yeehaw!
What did she just say? But that's okay. I'm sure there was a message there.
She has no
No,
plan.
just, okay.
That's
No.
where I was heading.
Translation.
She got her license, but has no idea
What to do
doing.
with it.
Yeah, what to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have a plan. What'd you learn that you didn't already know, Willie?
Not that I know it all. However, prospecting and sphere of influence. I mean, those are just two things that,
People love you. You have this giant sphere of influence. I know that you do get a lot of business from that, but you're probably not getting all the business.
nah, I'm not. I'm not. And I just need to do it more like Paul, consistently, so.
Exactly. What'd you learn that you didn't already know?
I'm learning more how to focus on my business and treat it like a business and not a hobby.
It's not a hobby.
Mhm.
It could be, but that's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that if you don't need to eat. What'd
Lots,
you learn that you didn't already know?
lots of good things.
What was your
Just
favorite?
a lot about the schedule and sphere of influence. I'm racking my brains already, kind of thinking, hey, new arrivals come on base every day.
You have a whole package of business out there that you can tap into. Yes. Yes.
There's not many Marines here, but if soldiers and airmen are as much like Marines as I assume, nobody wants to live on base. So
Yeah, you could really help them. You could really, that would be perfect for you. What'd you learn that you didn't already know?
I think the biggest point I took from here is my main focus. I need to start focusing on setting a schedule, getting up early every single day, because the most successful people get up early.
Brian Broderick with Jack White, been a realtor forever. You never see him in the office because he got in here at 6 a.m. almost every single day. And he takes family time like you wouldn't believe. He's a runner. He's a mountain climber. You never see him, but he does very, very well. When he's in this building, he's flat working. Doesn't spend time talking, drinking coffee. Kelly, what did you learn you didn't already know, my dear? You know everything.
Well, I think one of the things I came away with is tracking my business.
Yeah, you
That's
should do that.
something I need to work on
That's
more.
more fun. That's fun, actually. It's like counting your gold.
Mhm.
taking your pile of money and counting it and putting it in
Mhm.
slots. It's fun. What did you learn that you didn't already know? Or what's your favorite?
And my favorite is taking charge of your schedule and building a structure.
Okay.
You know, not shortchanging yourself. This is, for me, this year has been kind of been a turning point of taking charge of my schedule rather than allowing my schedule and my business to run me. And it's made a huge difference in my health and well-being. It means I have to cut certain things out sometimes and shift and prioritize depending on special projects, but I'm a better person.
Job title too, added to.
Yes. Which is one of the reasons why I now average about 10 hours a day instead of, 8 to 5 or, 14 hours. So it all depends. Because in the evenings and weekends, there's the social aspect of business development and building those relationships and being available to people versus the resource aspect of doing research.
And if you'd had a name tag, then everybody would have known who didn't know who you were with. Anyway, thanks, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. Well, how would you all feel if we did trenches once a month?
No. I like the every week.
You do, really?
Yeah, so I come here every week.
Just whatever you all think, whatever you want.
I like the once a week.
Okay, then we'll keep it up once a week. As long as I've got people here, we'll do this once a week. Do we want to do open houses next week?
$50 a week for this.
What was that, Paul?
I paid Mike Ferry $250 a week for this.
So Kathy's
On
gonna
the
send
phone.
you her bill.
Yeah.
Oh, good,
got it
good.
yet.
Yeah, well, she's worth it.
I have to tell you a great joke that between Paul and me. Can I tell that joke that you said?
Yeah.
He's so darn funny. This is probably there's no children here, right? This is kind of borderline. So one day Paul came to our class here. After the class, he hung in my doorway. He said, "I should have you as my personal coach." And I said, "Paul, you couldn't afford me." And then he leaves and he comes back later and he says, "I've had a lot of women tell me that." Thank you, Paul. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Where do you spend most of your time prospecting?
It doesn't bother you.
Oh,
Oh, I forgot already.
I should speak up about once a week. Well, because
What's
they're
that?
the ones that are
Yeah.
meeting me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a reservist. I did.
And then how do you turn
Very
those
little
into?
time.
Would you like the step? I can tell you what I
Maybe, so.
need. Well, we could do separate.
Okay, no,
So you're,
And I could even.
reservist up here
I don't
then?
know if it's close.
Is that what you've
enough.
been, reserved, never been active?
No, yeah.
What are the commissioning? What
Yeah,
did they tell you? What
I
did they
joined real
do?
long on the tooth.
Yeah.
I was 26 when I went to boot camp.
And I don't mind.
I turned 27 in boot camp.
But if-
And,
So you're doing
Oh, I
Nobody,
Okay, yeah.
nobody else, they didn't care about anyone else turning. Whoever but the oldest guy.
Well, we'll just keep it up.
Yeah, look at, I'd be happy to.
Yeah, I'm definitely
Thank you for making the effort
I
to
can
get
do open
these to me.
So
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Good 5 years.
I'll give you money.
Okay.
Done that.
Yeah, I'm committed to 6 and trying to figure out what I'm gonna do.
You've been up here the whole time?
Yeah, I mean, I've done nothing.
A couple guys that are reservists. Joey Lima, Eric Dufford,
The last, I know the name Dufford.
whatever. I think he was a platoon leader for a while.
Okay. Okay.
Got out as a corporal.
Billy, if I can help answer any questions, here's one of my cards.
I'll look at that.
Yeah, see? Kelly's very nice.
Excellent.
Some, it might just be a simple question sometimes. But I'm sitting
Sure.
there
I was
going
gonna
on,
ask
and
what day would work.
if you want to for me, different than you guys, if, Trace calls me, obviously, how much does a person need for a down payment on it? And I just answer a question.
I know, third floor on
So
the
for me, sometimes it's just.
I'll just follow up with
When you got it, get off the elevator.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
Nice
you.
to meet you. Glad you're.
Okay,
I'm just for that.
okay.
This is
I'll
my
find
first time
it.
actually going to the trenches, so.
Okay.
But you were here one of the times.
I've seen you
I've been here a while, and other meetings and stuff, but I'm usually getting pretty busy or have other stuff. I've been dealing with rental properties that I've been trying to, one, got squatters out finally.
You did, oh, I heard about that. Yeah, you told
I
us
told you about that. Well,
Are
one
you
of the
guys
guys died
like
in the property.
Shame on you.
And, yeah, I must have put too much stress on him.
Yeah.
Oh, who's that?
Go bricks and legs.
Do you have a card with you?
He ended up, passing away, but his